Hello, my name is Dr. Laura Gray. I am a pediatric psychologist at Children's National, working in the chronic pain clinic. And I'm here to talk today about some of the challenges that are coming up with back to school. Okay, our first question: how can I practice at home with my child to get them brushed up on social skills for school? This is a terrific question. Social skills get rusty like any other skills. And for many of us during the pandemic, they've gotten a little rusty. So parents can really work with their kids. Just review some of the basic steps. Social skills are kind of like a set of rules. So parents can go over some of this, like the idea of eye contact, making eye contact, when to do it, why it's important. Maybe even practice at dinner. We're all going to practice tonight making eye contact with the speaker, right? Parents can also talk about things like how do we have conversations? It's a back and forth exchange. So someone talks, then when that person talks, you make a comment about what they said. Maybe you ask them another follow-up question about what they said. Maybe you share something that's related. And then maybe helping kids come up with lists of things that they could share. What are some interesting things about me that other kids might also like? I like playing with Legos or art or travel, soccer, ballet. Kids can come up with a list of things, then they feel more comfortable knowing going into school, I have some things I can share with people. Maybe I also have this list of questions I can ask other people. So it's going to be easier for me to start to have some of those social exchanges. And then, of course, practice at dinner time. Practice when kids are going out to the local playground or pool or even grandma's house, reminding kids of what these rules and skills are and giving them chances to practice. All right, so let's see our next question. How can parents help their child if they become anxious when back at school around larger groups, like in cafeterias or hallways? Another really great question, right? We're all getting used to being around large groups, and it's been a really long time since we've been around large groups. So parents can talk with their kids about what are some really brief calming routines, right? So this might be something as simple as you can just take 3 really slow, deep breaths. Maybe you're even going to tense up your muscles when you do it, right? That I'm going to clench into a fist, breathe in and hold it, and then breathe out. And that helps my body to feel more calm. I can also practice saying things to myself, like calming thoughts that help me feel like I'm staying in control. Like, I can do this. I've done this before, right? Maybe it's talking about who's a safe person. You're going to have this friend is going to be at school with you. Or remember, you can always talk to your teacher if you're having concerns. And certainly if any of those things aren't working, reminding kids that it is okay to take a break. They can always go for a bathroom break. They can go refill their water. They're just getting a break to step away from the large group might be really helpful. And for especially anxious kids, if parents think my child's really going to have a hard time around crowds, maybe starting with smaller steps these few weeks leading back up to school. Visit the school before it's in session. Help your kid practice walking in the halls, picturing what it's like with other kids in the hall. Maybe practicing driving to school or going to other places that your family feels safe with, actually practicing being around crowds. Maybe it's a playground or an outdoor arts venue or, a park. And maybe the community pool, just practicing being around crowds, helping your child to develop more of that comfort with being around bigger groups of people. And remembering to give your child grace, the same as we're giving ourselves grace, that it's taking time for all of us to adjust to new routines and new habits. Many of these are things we've forgotten about. Do you have suggestions for talking to your child about missing being at home with the family after returning to school? Certainly for many kids, they've adjusted a lot to being at home. And so it's going to feel really uncomfortable and unsettling, and they're going to miss their parents. It's helpful for kids to anticipate what change is coming. So talking about these changes that are coming up with the return to school. Parents can talk about what the routine at school will be. Generally you're going to do schoolwork and learning, and you'll have recess, you'll have lunch, you'll do more work, then you're going to come home. Maybe even during the last days of summer, talking about what they might be doing when they're at school. Oh, maybe at school you're going to be doing recess now. You're probably going to be wrapping up because already by now you'll be coming home soon, right? Parents can focus on the positives, the things that will be fun and enjoyable about being at school. And also talking to their kids about who's that safe address, that person that they could go to if they're feeling worried or sad at school. It might be a teacher or a guidance counselor. It could be a close friend, an older sibling that's at school. Right? And parents can ask kids questions just to see how they're feeling, assess what their emotions are. Let them know it's okay to feel sad that you're going to miss home. You might feel worried that you're starting something new, and you might feel excited at the same time that you're going to get to have friends and school. So help kids kind of process through those more difficult emotions, those worries, that sadness, and helping them to really focus on what those positives are going to be. And the last thing I think is really important is helping the family to establish some quality family time and letting kids know in advance. We might not be spending all this time together during the day, but we're going to plan ahead for the time we're going to spend together when you get home. We're going to spend dinner time as a family every night that first week. We're going to do this really special thing this first weekend to celebrate your first week of school. Maybe we're even going to have special time where it's one parent and one kid. It might only be 5 or 10 minutes, but we're going to spend time doing an activity that that child really enjoys, a predictable time that child can anticipate and rely on. Knowing they're going to get to spend that time with parents can help them feel more comfortable when they're going to be spending more time away from home. So I think that's all the questions we have for today. Hopefully these are some really helpful things to help for you as parents and for your kids preparing going back to school. Thanks so much for listening and watching this episode of Bear Bites. If you have any follow-up questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below.